Welcome back to BB Kingle. We are finally at the number one spot for my 3 most haunted locations. So today we are going to look over the Sea of Trees / Suicide Forest. So another very quick brief about the forest. It's at the foot of Mount Fuji, which is the highest mountain peak in Japan. And the 30 square kilometre forest at the base of the mountain is the Suicide Forest, or as people know it properly as Aokigahara. Now this forest is a huge attraction for hikers due to the thickness of it. The trees are so compact together, there's a lack of light which adds to the difficulty. The uneven ground covered in moss makes the terrain also difficult to cross. So it's a huge task for hikers and a nice one to say that they've completed. But it's not in my most haunted locations for the lack of light and the difficult mossy ground. It's in there for the ghost and paranormal activity. So let me tell you about the history of Aokigahara Forest and why it's got this horrible name of the Suicide Forest. So there's a few things with the forest that are myths. No one knows if they're real or not. And the number one is a myth called Ubisate. This happened in a time when the nearby villages of the Aokigahara Forest were in starvation and struggling to make their way in life. The Japanese people in the family had elders, and they would take these elderly people into the forest and just leave them there to die. If the family had children, they were obviously the first priority for food when it came in. So the elderly people were at the back of the queue. So they left them in the forest to die, which means there's one less mouth to feed. Now, like I said, this is just myth. No one knows if this actually did happen, so this is just a little theory, kind of. Now, in more recent times, say the 1960s, 50s, 70s, when people would go to the Suicide Forest, or just Aokigahara Forest, or also known as the Sea of Trees, due to the thickness of trees. And when you're at the top of the mountain, you look out, it just looks like a sea of trees. Hence, Sea of Trees. At the very start of the haunting and the paranormal of the forest, it was elderly people, or better known as yurei. So yurei in Japan means a soul of a person or a spirit that can't leave our world as we know it due to their feelings and their issues not being resolved. The feelings that these yurei feel are despair, sadness, dread, all these horrible feelings, and this is because of their previous lives and how they died. These were the feelings they were feeling when they sadly passed. So you might be connecting a few dots here. Who died in the forest that was feeling sadness and like they'd been treated badly? Well, the elderly people. People believe that the elderly people are still roaming the forest, well, yurei, and that they can't leave due to them not getting closure of their previous families because it was so long ago. So there's no way for them to leave. But these yurei are bringing other people down and filling other people with their feelings to try and find this closure. So this is how it comes onto the Suicide Forest. It started in 1960 where Shichu Matsumoto wrote a book where the 2 main characters, who were lovers, committed suicide in the forest. And that book's name translated to English is called The Black Sea of Trees. So people may have started to associate the forest with suicide due to this. And obviously, like I've already mentioned, the amount of hikers that go there and people going just for the sheer beauty of the forest will just be aimlessly walking around. Well, I say aimlessly, they'll be trying to cross the sea or get to the mountain or just do trails. But then the yurei will also be mixing with them. Could possibly be filling them full of the sadness and despair, making them that sad in that moment that they want to kill themselves. And also the association with the suicide due to the Black Sea of Trees book. People could be going there already on the fence, on the verge, and they just want to end it all. And then these yurei are filling them with that extra little kind of clarity that they need to be like, yes, I'm going to do it. So this is why it's my number one most haunted. Because if spirits are walking around the forest making you feel that depressed, then why would anyone go? Obviously the forest is beautiful and it's a good task to do if you're an ambitious, ecstatic hiker. But if you're someone who, I don't know, is quite emotional, then this place will just not be for you. Or like me, I do believe in the paranormal, so I don't know if it'd be somewhere I'd like to go, but it's the whole story of it and how this all links in. Like I'm saying, this is only theory. It's not real, or it could be real, but like I'm saying, no one knows. There's no solid evidence there because it's all based on myth and legend. This is my number one most haunted location, and it is the Sea of Trees / Suicide Forest. So if you enjoyed this video, please check this one out here. Leave a like, subscribe. Tell me if you like these kind of videos where I talk about haunted locations and the backstories and the hauntings that go on there. And join me while I hunt for paranormal sightings and events beyond belief.